Okay, so when I say religion, you probably think of this guy or this guy, this guy, or this. And that makes sense because if you look up the definition of religion, you will see this: the belief in and worship of a superhuman power or powers, especially a god or gods. But recently, I've read two books that were completely unrelated but both touched on a similar subject that really piqued my interest and made me question what really is religion. These books were To Have or to Be by Eric Fromm and Sapiens by Yuval Noah Harari. That's like a fucking tongue twister. Without wasting too much time, let me give you a little rundown. In Sapiens, Harari explains that in the beginnings of Homo sapiens history, we formed intimate communities. In it, there were human beings like you and me, sharing intimate moments, eating, bickering, fighting, doing all that shit. And these communities and bands were no larger than 150 people. The reason being is that sociological research has shown the maximum natural size of a group bonded by gossip is about 150 individuals. Basically, what this means is that primates like you and me are bonded by gossip, but the extent of this bond is about 150. After this amount, you are very likely to have complications within the community that result in disorder and uncomfortability. You know, mates are gonna get weird and resources are gonna get weird. Shit just gets weird. It doesn't work. I hope we can all agree that humanity's greatest and most valuable attribute is our ability to form large and complex communities that function fluidly and effectively. In a group of 10, we kind of shitty. You know what I mean? What are you gonna do? 10 guys and gals. Kind of shitty. But in a group of 10 million, we do crazy stuff, weird, freaky stuff. Freaks. That's who we are. You can build a big building. You can build a big whale. You can make a phone. You can do so much stuff with all these people. Incredible. But what's interesting is that if the research suggests that our ancient communities consisted of groups no larger than 150 individuals, what caused us to break that threshold and form functional communities of millions of individuals? Harari's answer is stories, or myths, or imagination, delusions. You just pick one. Pick whichever one you think sounds nicest. He suggests that our ability to congregate at this phenomenal level is all because of stories. Now, before we continue, I want to explain how Fromm's work comes into play here, the second book that I referenced. In a section explaining the religious needs of society, Fromm says, to clarify, religion as I use it here does not refer to a system that is necessarily to do with a concept of God or with idols or even to a system perceived as religion, but to any group shared system of thought and action that offers the individual a frame of orientation and an object of devotion. Indeed, in this broad sense of the word, no culture of the past or present, and it seems no culture in the future, can be considered as not having religion. If you think that this Frommian idea of religion is accurate, which I think it is, then I think a good question to ask is, what is humanity's most popular object of devotion? What is the object that we most devote this innate need for religiosity on? Well, Harari would describe this thing as the greatest conqueror in history, a conqueror possessed of extreme tolerance and adaptability, thereby turning people into ardent disciples. This conqueror is... Boo! You can find me in a club, pocket full of bud, baby, what you need. The cool thing about money is it really needed no technological breakthrough. It was just an idea or a mental revolution. It is a conqueror that has created communities that most gods or kings in human history could not. People who believe in completely different gods and who have vastly different ways of life still come together and use the same currency. They get behind the same idea, and it works like a charm. Yep, I guess that's all. That's what I really thought was interesting.